We are all living at a fraction of our potential. Start with prayer. Lord, help me to say what you want me to say and have everybody hear what you need them to hear, and help us do a better job at stewarding our bodies and the great gift you've given us to use our bodies to love and serve others. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Cool. All right, so here's some cool stuff. We are all living at a fraction of our potential, because we have bodies out there that are running 16 miles an hour and doing 3-minute, 43-second miles. We have people swimming oceans from one tip of a continent to another, swimming for days straight. And we're satisfied with being in shape and not having a symptom or a pain. We are living so far down by this suffering line, and we do it every day. And the potential is unlimited. Potential does not mean perfection. Potential does not mean there's no suffering. Potential doesn't mean anything other than making the most out of what you got and using what happens to you as a learning experience to be able to feed your body the things, the catalysts, that constantly put it in a state that's moving towards higher levels of health over the months, years, decades, and over your lifetime. There is no program that can work temporarily, whether it be water, whether it be salad, whether it be adjustments, whether it be exercise, whether it be playing the piano. We are designed to feed ourselves things, and those things that we feed ourselves are catalysts and turn things on that allow our body to move in a direction. The body is the miracle. The body does all the healing. It's the most amazing thing. And I know what it's done for me, so I get a little emotional. And if you understand these catalysts and understand how to stoke those fires in your body that lead to flames, that lead to the kind of life you want, you will get to experience things you never experienced. Not just in today's life, but once you stack these on top of decades, you're going to be doing things that other people may not get the chance to experience. Some people may not get to be active with grandkids. Some people may not be able to go on vacation. Some people may have worked their whole life to retire and not be able to enjoy it. This is a lot bigger than just what's going on here, and it's a lot bigger than just feeling better. And so we're going to go over we're going to go through 8 keys that pretty much every program has to follow, and that's what makes most programs successful. A lot of the things that you see people do that have great success with them, it's usually because they have the disciplines and the consistencies to make those programs work. The ones that don't do well are the people that don't have the discipline and consistencies. Now, there are programs that are better than others, but it's really the discipline and consistency that will make most of them work. But every once in a while, that 99.9%, maybe there's something that needs that special vitamin or special nutrient or special procedure to help get them over that line. But as far as we're concerned, 99.9% of what you need is going to solve close to more than 99.9% of your problems. So a lot of our problems, I think we also know that there are also negative catalysts. A lot of the things we're experiencing are from choices we made. It's not from bad genes or bad habits or bad foods or that are out there. We're the ones that put them in our mouths. So a lot of our habits are the things that are leading to our limitations. And sometimes it's not about adding. Sometimes it could be about removing something that's bad for you. And that could be just as powerful. So we'll go through the concepts pretty quickly. I'll explain things through this graph, and then I only want to spend like 15 or 20 minutes doing that because I'd rather help each one of us find one thing that we're going to work on. And we got a great crew in here because we got a lot of people who are already living their life this way, incredible with nutrition and discipline, been under chiropractic care for 3 years, good stuff all around. You guys have been getting adjusted for a while and all the things you're trying to do, so we're gonna make this time powerful. So, all right, so let's look at a couple things. So this is the first book I wrote, Winning Moments. It's the quest for the 24-hour workout. And the whole idea behind this are our genes, the way our body's designed, they're all switches we turn on and off by our choices, like we were talking about the catalysts. And I'm trying to find out in Winning Moments, I was trying to look for how can I turn my entire day into things that turn on the right things in my body that promote health, that promote flexibility, that take off stress, that help me adapt better. So I started from the morning, or I didn't actually start from the morning. I started actually from the night before, considering that the first part of my day. So it's before bed, getting up, getting ready for bed, getting ready for the day. So my day starts before I go to sleep. And I do that by completely unwinding the day I just had. You know, if it's spiritual, it'll be prayer. If it's muscle, it'll be stretching. Whatever the category is, I take it all off. So when I go to sleep, I am maximizing, and I've already catalyzed and I've already started the maximum benefits of sleep that are available. If I eat before I go to bed, I'm removing benefits. If I don't take the tension off before I go to bed and the tension builds up during the night, I'm starting the day carrying a 15-pound weight around instead of 0. So it's all about these habits that you stack and accumulate. So it goes through the data, how I brush my teeth, how I lean over a counter, how I sit on the toilet, how I stand in the shower, how I put on my socks, how I put on my shoes. Everything is here all the way through an entire day, set up in that format through the days. So that's one of the first things I did. And I did this because, number one, pain is a great teacher. So I had to do these things first so I didn't suffer as I did normal everyday things. And now I do them because if it was something to take me from suffering to not suffering, where could it take me from after not suffering? Maybe as far away from this line as possible. And I always want to be as far away from that line as possible, not just because I never want to come back here again, not just because I want to enjoy all the potential that's out there for my body, but this line as I age is starting to creep up a little higher. I'm not running alone. This line is coming after me. So I have to keep moving forward faster than this line catches up, hopefully multiple times faster. So, but if you do have to reach this point in your life, I will learn something from it and grow. You know, my suffering has led to everything I've learned about my back and everything I'm telling people in the community. And, you know, we could always use your help doing that. So I'll just show you this real quick, just as an example. So I started out exercising, addicted to exercise, doing everything, working out 3 hours, working in gyms, doing all that stuff. So I had all the muscles in the world. But as Charles and I have talked about, in the process, I didn't know about spine, I didn't know about joints, I didn't know about brain. So to gain muscle, I destroyed spine. And because you gain and lose muscles in 3 months, I really destroyed spine for nothing, because by the time I had to stop and take care of my back, I was already out of shape again. So now we only are trying to exercise to focus on spine and focus on brain, because that's the stuff that the catalyst uses to run the whole operation. That's what it uses for the healing. That's what it uses for the fighting disease. That's what it uses for the strength. That's what it uses for the growth, adapting to stress. All that is done through the brain and nervous system, and all that is protected by the spine. So as we take better care of our spine, our brain and nervous system, that is the catalyst for our brain and nervous system to do what it does at its best. So I'm showing you this because my spine is worse than probably 90% of the spines I look at. Look at this last disc down here. There's nothing there. Look at all these healthy discs. And this just shows you that aging is not normal. It's just very common, because all these joints went through the same things in my life that this went through. The car accident, to being hit by the car, the falling, all the different things I've done, the diving into a lake into my head, all these different things that happen. These joints responded well because they had the catalyst of being healthy to adapt to what was going on. Whereas this joint wasn't able to adapt to what was going on, and it caused it to age faster. So this picture is to represent that my potential includes this picture. But with this, I still have the best version of whatever this is capable of doing. And as long as I could keep this healthy enough to protect my brain and nervous system, my brain and nervous system will do its job. And the reason I show you this is because so many people label themselves by their disease or by their MRI or by their picture. Yes, that thing is there, but health is always the answer. Restoring health, improving health, working on what you have is always the answer. Taking care of symptoms, quick fix, cutting away damage, getting injection, you may need those to get over the hump, but you have to restore health in order to reach your potential. Those things will never help you be healthier, and they'll never help you improve your potential. They'll give you an opportunity to, but it still requires the work and knowing how to do things each day to have the catalyst involved that can spark the things in your body that'll allow your body to move towards its potential each day. So let's, anything there? We're good? Roll on?
That's all the way down in the lower part of your back?
Yeah, yeah. And I have something in my neck too, but yeah, so.
That came from an automobile accident?
Oh man, it came from deadlifting improperly, accidents, car accidents. I got hit by a car in the back before. Yeah, I've had a lot of stuff happen to my spine. So I dove off a roof into a lake and hit my head and broke the back of my bone off in the back of my neck. So yeah, I'm pretty lucky, pretty fortunate. So, all right, so let's look at one other thing real quick, and then we'll go to this chart. Because how are we doing on time? Because I want to make sure you guys have time for everything. Good? All right, good. All right, so this health is practically free. Don't wait until it costs you everything. In a nutshell, is the fact that all these little things that we do have exponential value, not only in quality of life and what we're able to do and what we're able to experience, but is a fraction of the time and money that's involved that if we would have to do to treat things that we allowed to let go. So 5 minutes right now for an adjustment, 30 minutes for this talk, 2 seconds for a glass of water. You know, what that does for you compared to if you were to neglect those things is astronomical. So just like just one little area. So this is under the health is practically free, don't wait till it costs you everything. Is just if you were to go through simple like back stuff and a couple simple things that people have. So back surgery, cervical, you could throw a knee replacement in there. My carpal tunnel's bothering me. Some rotator cuff. Let me get some injections along the way. Let me get a couple tests. Oh man, I'm not eating now. I'm sitting at home. Now I'm eating chips all the time because my back hurts so bad. Now you got blood pressure, acid reflux. Now you're on cholesterol medicine. Now you have migraines. You can't sleep. And then you get diabetes. So anyway, the joke of the list is that's about $700,000 to $1.3 million. And that's just a couple categories during a joke. It's actually a lot more expensive than that. The point is, and I heard this the other day, and it's just a statement. People could never afford an adjustment. You know, if you know what kind of catalyst each vertebra does for the brain and nervous system and what that turns on in your body and what kind of chemistry in the perfect amount to the perfect cell at the perfect time with zero negative side effects and better quality of life and sleeping better and moving better and walking further. I hear these stories all the time. People doing stuff they haven't done in 10 years through adjustments. So the point is, if you were to add all those things up, if you were to go to a hospital and get those procedures and those injections and those things turned on and turned off, if you could ever avoid negative side effects, which you couldn't when you manage the body with chemistry, the charge would be, an adjustment would be $80,000, or $90,000. So it's just important to know that these little things, like people say, good food is expensive. I can eat for $2, 2 boiled eggs and an apple, and the hoagie's $8. So just the things we all know. So so that's health is practically free. Now it all came together with the health equation, which are these 2 books. If you can learn how to live right every day and understand the power of living right, then you have the health equation, which is each day all your catalysts, they're either negative catalysts or positive catalysts, are doing something to move your health in a direction. And the more you do to fill your health account, the more health and resources your body will have available to move into better levels of health faster and higher levels of health. All right? The more negative ones you do, over time, you'll have your health move into negative directions, and it becomes harder to become healthy. So the whole idea is not just to get your health account as full as possible and do the things that are constantly filling it so your body can improve in health, but as we get into our 80s, 90s, 100, the problem is we're not able to deposit as much. We can't deposit as fast. We can't go out and do the things the same way we were before. So we have to have enough in the account to write enough checks to carry us through so we have quality of life and independence as we get older. Okay? So those 3 books all come together with a lot of stuff in between. So we'll work on this right now. So we have consistency and time is obviously included in everything. The body does all the work. Anything we do, exercise adjustments, are just catalysts to give the body the resources it needs to do its job. And the more consistently we can do that, the more we'll receive the benefits. So if somebody is feeling great, feeling really has very little to do with things. It's okay to know this is going on, so maybe I need to look at that. Or it's more about what is it trying to teach you. Because if you're feeling good, for example, and you don't do anything, and you start to accumulate bad habits, and it's all about how the choices you're making and what you're giving a catalyst to. And then those things start to create momentum, and then those things are running out of control. You'll have more good days, so you're feeling good, you're having good days, and an occasional bad day. But over time, if you constantly have catalysts that are negative, your body has to, because it's turning on things that promote bad health, your body has to get unhealthy. It doesn't have a choice. You've told it what you want by what you've told it what to do, or what you're going to do with it, or what you're feeding it, or how you're treating it. It has to go in that direction. It is a whatever you want machine. You want to be a piano player? Play the piano. So it will do whatever you want. It has to go into bad health if you feed it bad catalysts. Down here, this person feels bad, has more bad days than good days, but you can also build momentum in the other direction. Now, I would even say, in a funny type of way, that this person is healthier than this person. Do you know why I would say that? Because of their habits. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. That doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter if you have cancer or you're the world's greatest athlete. This is going to determine, your habits are going to determine your potential of what you have and the direction that you're going to go and the catalyst that you're providing your body. And there's no end to either side of it. I mean, this side is death, but this side, it has no limits to it with time. So, well, both sides are death, actually.
In the suffering category, though, sometimes dying would be easier.
Yeah.
If you just had to suffer for an eternity.
I mean, some people choose it, right? Some people say, I'm ready to go, when life, they're not getting to live life. Yeah, I mean, suffering will beat you down. Yeah. And, I mean, that's the problem with a lot of these things is they don't just, we're talking about like one concept, but when you stack concepts, they're like dominoes and they activate each other, which means you're down here, you feel bad, now you're no good, now nothing's going to work out for you. Now everything's a problem. Now I want to eat bad to feel how I'm actually thinking. Now my health goes down. It's all those things that go together. They start to multiply on each other. And 1 + 1 in health doesn't equal 2. 1 + 1 equals 100. And it multiplies as you do more of those things. Because then now you're in a spiritual battle, you're in a physical battle, you're in an emotional battle, you're in everything. So it is hard to get things turned around. But the truth, not the lie, the truth is that if you feed yourself good things, if you feed yourself the word, if you feed yourself food, if you feed yourself movement, if you feed yourself brain and nerve health, you will improve, whatever that looks like or means. You can't really define that. So, all right, so we're pretty good on the chart here. We'll go over the keys and the catalysts? How are we doing on time? Where are we at? What time is it now?
10:17.
Bingo, nailing it. All right, cool. All right, so here's just some main concepts. And I'll just stop on the one that I think would be the most powerful. But if you guys want to talk about another one, we can. So health determines your quality of life. True?
Yes.
All right. Consistency beats intensity. True. Function is more important than symptoms. How your body is working and the direction is going is more important than how it's feeling at the moment. Every habit, every catalyst either adds or subtracts from your health or your body's ability to be healthy or be less healthy. Stress is manageable. Is that believable?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll do a little pause there. One of the most powerful ways to handle stress is your body's ability to adapt to it, and that's all brain and nervous system. What one person could freak out over, another person, it could be a day in their life, and they have 5 things like that and 6 worse that are coming down the line that makes up their day. So our brain's ability to experience, process, learn how to manage, and respond to our environment determines how big or little of an impact stress has. Now, stress always has the availability or ability to actually make us stronger if we manage it well, but it also has the ability to crush us. So stress is manageable, more manageable. We all have our limits, I think, right? Lifestyle influences genes. So does everybody know that most genetic stuff is from lifestyle and not from genes, right? There's a thing called epigenetics. So epigenetics is what turns on and turns off genes, or choices that turn on and turn off genes. It's not necessarily that you have the gene. We have most of the genes, but it's which ones get turned on more. Now, there's some people where things run pretty rampant, and it's, that's an exception to the rule. But in many cases, we're the ones turning on the wrong genes or turning on the right genes. Progress beats perfection. Now, when it comes to health, I could tell you all this stuff. You could do everything right, and things may not go well. Or you could do everything wrong. I know Ted Morgan ate 50 pounds of bacon every day and 4 shots of tequila and lived to 100. So I get all that. But that isn't talking about potential, because Ted probably could have lived to 150.
Yeah, right.
So
Also, his quality of life might have been horrible.
right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, he lived. He lived. And now here's a big one, and this is what's tough for all of us. Prepare your health before life tests it. A lot of times we're going to look for help when we're already in the clamp. We're already being squeezed. We're already on our knees. We're already crushed. And we don't have the resources available to handle that pressure. You have to be doing this every day because it's important to you. And somewhere along the way, whenever that moment is, you will have the resources available to be resilient and adapt. And it won't have to throw you back a year or 3 years of your life. It may just be a weekend of just needing some rest. And that's the gift of all this health is you couldn't even write the list of what you get to avoid. And you probably couldn't even write the list of all the benefits you get to receive. But it is just so insurmountable what it's like to be constantly working on each day, each minute, each moment, each week, each month, each decade towards improving the quality of your life. And you do that by improving your health. So, all right, we're good there. So those are the things. So we'll go to these, and then you guys let me know where we want to sit on this. Obviously, these categories can be broken down multiple times in multiple ways, but I just did 8 of them to get us started. You don't have to do them all. Just think of the biggest domino in your life. Which area do you feel would have the greatest impact? And by doing that, you'll also have a positive impact on all the other areas as well. So for some of you, it may be reducing stress. You ready? You locked in?
I'm locked in. I'd be like eating a lot of
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I know when I go crazy because I bought a box of crimpets this week and my back hurts more because of inflammation. You know what I mean?
I know exactly
Like
what you're
just
saying.
my knee hurts. Just things. Once you go clean and then do a little legendary stuff. It feels crazy.
Yeah. That's you. And I mean, I don't know what it is, what part of our brain, but the whole lore, the whole lie, the story, you'll have gone to sleep, beat yourself up, never again, tomorrow, why did I do that? You wake up, you're good, you go all day, you fast all day long, and then something lets it in. I think the problem is what I like about this catalyst idea is that when I'm thinking of things now, I'm not thinking of what I'm doing. I'm thinking of what it's going to do. And instead of eating because I think it's going to feel good or taste good, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I had a piece of chocolate before I went to bed, and I had a horrible night's sleep. It's out. You're done.
I'm so gnarly that I was looking at the crimpets going, I'm going to have a headache, but dude, I'm eating this and I don't care.
Well, that's okay. I mean, it's not perfection, but yeah.
But I'm saying I know that, but I'm just saying that's one thing that if I really got locked in, it would change the game.
Change everything.
Yeah. It's like even soda gives you a headache right off the rip.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, unfortunately, we'll never truly know how devastating, all this stuff is. But, this catalyst list and, the things on that health equation, the whole idea is, to lower the stress side and then turn the stress into things that actually promote health, and that's what winning moments is. But mental, physical, chemical, emotional, the reason we constantly need to exercise, drink water, get adjusted, stretch, is because this side is constant. Mental, physical, chemical. If that went away, we'd be good.
Yeah.
But because this is constant and this is always driving us down in this direction, the cool thing is, as powerful as this is, as it's happening all the time, and as much as it causes us to need those other things, here's a cool thing that God did. He made an adjustment, a glass of water, and a walk be stronger than that. So as powerful as this is, he gave us these little 20-minute things to do that counteract these effects for the next 24 hours. I mean, what a gift, So we need to be aware of these. We need to minimize these, but we also need to know the great gift and responsibility we've been given for our body, that there are a couple things that flip the switch, remove the negative benefits of this, turn it into us getting stronger, and actually do things that promote our health and longevity and quality of life. So that's good. Anybody else looking at anything?
It's all practice.
Yeah, it is. And failing and getting back up again. Yeah.
I have sugar problems.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think, yeah.
Sugar,
Yeah.
fat.
Yeah. Charles, do you want to share what you do? So Charles, I mean, he's disciplined. Are you only meat now?
Yeah.
So here's the thing, and I'll just set the stage, and you can talk as much as you like. The one thing we do is we always are looking for the next thing, or looking to see what somebody else is doing. We've been given a body that is uniquely different than every other person. And what Charles does that I like is, he looks at something, he looks at a lot of people, he looks at what they're doing, but he takes a month or two to find out what it does for his body. Right. He goes in there, he says, all right, let's do this. Let's see how my body reacts. You can't just go by what other people do all the time. That's just the starting point. So you want to find people who are smart at what they do and are educated, and maybe save yourself a couple years of ramp-up period. But then you start where they are with all this information and knowledge underneath. You get to perform it at the highest level because they've spent all the time figuring out this thing. And then you get to see if your body says yes or no. Because even after all that, his body might say yes to something, mine might say no to something, even though they're both good food or healthy foods. Yeah. So, I mean, what have you found about the meat recently, like in this stage of your diet? What have you noticed about your body and health?
Just gives me more energy, more focus.
But it took a lot of discipline. I mean, when he goes in, he's in. Yeah, you're in, right?
Yeah. I did a 3-day sardine fast.
Yep, fishes, omega oils. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm talking all in.
I've been doing a lot of fasting, but no sardines.
Yeah, I watch like YouTube videos of people.
I've seen the sardine thing, yeah.
Yeah. It's healthy.
It is healthy.
I mean, look at his skin. He's glowing. Yeah, I mean, like he's glowing.
Maybe I gotta eat sardines.
maybe find what you like.
Do you eat certain meats or just any meat?
Usually beef, chicken, fish.
Beef, fish, and chicken?
Yeah, usually those.
So it's, everybody's focusing around the nutrition, huh? It's, I think,
I mean, it's the hardest thing to dial in, honestly, because like sleep for me, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that I'm perfect at everything,
Yeah.
but that's the one that you can really fall off, because like stretching, I'm in such a routine, or like all that stuff. It's
well, that's
like,
the thing. It's about finding your thing. And I mean,
Yeah.
every group that comes to this workshop is going to be different because, you guys are all chiropractic patients. We've been talking about stretching. There's all sorts of things in there. So we have a couple of those things that those plates are spinning pretty good. And we want to get some other plates spinning because not only will those plates open up potential for you, but they'll help you with your adjustments too. They all work together.
They do.
But yeah, the food part, I guess, sometimes they say, like there's less crime in areas where they cut your hand off if you're stealing.
Yeah.
So food is the same way. You feel a certain way, you have this chemistry, and I think of myself as like there's these little robots inside my body controlling what this person does. And sometimes, that could be a little frustrating, because those things don't want what's best. They just want what they want.
Yeah.
They want what satisfies them, and they'll do it at the cost of the entire being. They'll do it at the cost of your stress. They'll do it at the cost of your diabetes. They'll do it at the cost of everything. And, I think eventually we're really, as we get older, we kind of have a lot of freedoms, and we really don't have to have discipline unless we want it. Nobody's going to say, you better stop doing that. We don't have, so, it has to be self-enforced, and it has to be serious, and you have to play the story forward. I mean, there's, one donut is the same donut that leads to losing a leg, and all these things. I mean, I don't know whatever motivates you, but you don't, the point is you don't get away with anything,
Yeah.
so that's the most important thing listen, once you have information and you understand the consequence of your choice, that's different making choices. There's freedom in choices, and you don't have to be too hard on yourself, but you shouldn't be naive. You should really know, what you're doing each day, and it is a marathon. You could put spaces aside to where you could do certain things, and then you get back on your game. But unfortunately for me, none is my only option. I'm an addict. You know what I mean? It's like none, because once I do one, that means 10. Once I do 10, that means 3 more days of it being harder not to do one again. It just all starts over and over and over again. But I'll do one more cool thing, and then we're all done. The one thing we can do is there's all these different centers in our brain and body that these different things that we do try to satisfy. And if we go the work route, meaning it takes a little effort to get up and take a walk or do something at that moment, usually that good habit is enough to fill that center of the brain or something. If we do go the lazy route and we're sitting around and we're just watching TV and we're constantly thinking about what's in the kitchen, and we go the easy route like that, chances are we're probably going to lose the battle eventually and eat that thing. And then that's going to start, that whole chain of event. So, but my main point is there are these things that we can do that are a positive habit that'll satisfy the part of you that wants something that's unhealthy. And the more you're able to do that, the less, I wouldn't say none, the less desire you have to do the things that work against you. I mean, I don't know, do you guys feel that way? Like if you were to drink water, have a good night's sleep, exercise a bunch of days, is there a chance that you slightly desire bad food less? I mean, do you notice any momentum that way? Or?
Yeah, because I want to drink bad, but I don't drink anymore just because I don't want to hurt.
Right.
So I've gone far enough away from it that if I even, does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
So I get that.
Yeah, and I mean even work, and like the Bible says, keep your hands busy. When you're working, I could go all day without eating or not thinking about food.
Food's easy to not eat.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there's principles that if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, we get help to not do what we shouldn't be doing.
Absolutely.
But when we're not doing what we should be doing, we're vulnerable to what we shouldn't be doing. Does that make sense?
Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
It does.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, that is all I have. Anything from
That's
anybody?
great. That's great.
Yeah. I hope it helped you in some way. I am not like an expert in everything on that list, but what I am pretty good at is one, the chiropractic brain nerve stuff and spine stuff, and two, big concepts. Like my chiropractic degree is such a blessing because it taught me how to think about all these things, and it helps you in a world of a million things you could possibly doing. It helps you boil down to what matters. Is this a catalyst that is going to feed things that help me improve, or is this a catalyst that is possibly going to have negative effects on me? Whether that's the latest study from Harvard or the latest study from wherever. When you have inductive and deductive reasonings, you can take foundational 1,000-year-old principles, and if they follow that, you can deduce that good things will come out of that. Like if it comes from the earth and eat it in variety or whatever the thing would be. And the opposite is true. If it's going to alter a process of the body and it's going to cost another part of the body, you better be sure that you need that thing, that life or death is in the balance, because if you're just doing it just to change things a little bit, there's going to be a lot more negative that comes along with things once you start messing with the body. And then you usually find out 3 years later the drug's being taken off the market, killed too many people, hurt too many people, and around it goes. And that's what thinking does for you, you know, and inductive and deductive reasoning, and knowing the principles of how health works, and being prepared in advance so that you don't get yourself in emergency situations. Because it's there if you need it, but you know, not the first thing you want to be turned to. All right, I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. Yeah.